Be ready for a warmth to enter your soul that you may or may not be prepared for. Please give it up for Miss Lisa Berry! This is a good crowd, just so you know. They've been on fire today.
Ooh.
Austin.
Are you ready?
I
love it. Let me just take you in for a second. Thanks for having me. You guys are great. Do you want to start with a story or questions?
Story!
Bitch, start with a story. Oh, act like you know something. Show of hands, who knows how I got cast? There's 3 people. I love that though! It's one of my favorite stories because it's so magical. Supernatural, as you were. It's a really fun one. So, I auditioned for the show for 10 years. Committed. And I just couldn't catch a break. And about season 7, I was like, I don't know how much longer they got. This dream feels like it's got an expiration date on it. Yes, it does. And then I was living in Vancouver. I moved to LA for a little bit, and I got to go into the room. And I was auditioning for one of the 2 witches in the scene with Rowena when she's got the book, and they're all like, say less, we know, continue. And I do the scene. But first, I gotta tell you about before I got into the room. Again, it's the best part. So there's about 2 rows, all women auditioning for this part, and Jensen's running late. Which is fine. He's a busy man. He's the lead of a hit TV show. We get it. And I'm all cool about it. I watch the show. I've worked with celebrities. But Jensen is different. And when Jensen walked into the room, every girl on cue was like, oh my God. Myself included. And I was like, I just need a minute. I'm just gonna go over here for a second, grab my bearings. And I grabbed my bearings and I'm like psyching myself up, being like, work with fucking celebrities before this, and you can do this, you know your shit, go get this. Lisa Berry, hi, right here, thanks. I go in, I do the scene. Jensen looks at me and says, that's really great. In this scene, you don't really have a lot of power, but I'd like to see you try it as if you did. I was like, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. I do the scene again. Kill it. He's like, thanks, that's so great. I walk out, call my friend. Oh my God, bitch, I just worked with Jensen. It counts. It counts. In my world, it counts. I was like, he gave me directions just like directors do. I took it, did the scene. We worked together. So it was very clear in my heart. Didn't get the part? Aww. Yeah, me too, I felt that. It hurt, it sucked. Yeah. I was like, you know, I don't even know if I have a dream. But it's okay. Because fast forward a couple of months, I get a call from the producers of Supernatural saying, we have a part that we think you'd be great for. It's only one scene right now, but we'll see what comes of it. Are you interested? Yes. Yes, I am. And so all of the legal stuff have to happen, and my manager calls me up, and they're like, yeah, they're gonna send you the script, it's one scene, you know, and it should be fine. It'll be like 1 day's worth of work, it'll be great. I do the gig. But before I do, I get one more call. And it's like, oh, can you sing? I was like, yes. Even if I couldn't, yes. I find out the song that they want me to sing, and I'm like, are you fucking... I watch the show, guys. I know what song this is. And they're like, you only have to learn the first little bit for when you're reaping the solo. That's all you gotta do. Just a little lyric. And I was like, oh yeah, cool, totally. I'm gonna learn the whole fucking song. Are you kidding me? We'll just see what comes of it. So I learned the whole song, and on the day they're just like, oh yeah, you can do your part. And they're like, do you know the whole song by chance? Always be ready. So I'm ready, and I go into this little booth and I sing the song, When God Is Gone, and I do the whole thing, and then I watch the trailer, and I'm like, shut up. That is not what I thought was going to happen. But I do believe in Jesus now. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. If I didn't before, I now know that there is a Chuck. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I watched the show. I watched the show. So it was a real dream come true. And I never expected that to happen, because as artists, as actors, of course, I also wanted to be on Lord of the Rings, and I wanted to do a whole bunch of other things, but that didn't happen. This one did. And it keeps me going, and it gives me hope that dreams do come true. And so you know, I made a short story really long. Hey, what's your name?
Maybe I was totally going to come over here and go, But coming from someone who has a musical theater background, I just wondered if that was something that you came up with on the fly, or if you'd ever done that, or if you sang a lot, or in church, or whatever.
Great question. Beautiful voice. No, actually, I was just sharing how I have my singer in me has a name now. I call her Louise. And she is the person in me who loves to share her gift. She loves to sing. And I'm like, but in the shower. And she's like, no, in front of everybody. She knows what she's doing. But I have a lot of trauma around my singing, if I'm really honest about it. Because I'm from a time when voices sounded like Disney characters. And I do not have a Disney character voice. Yet. But I had to kind of start doing that inner work, which I realize is what singing really is all about. And you have to tap into something different within yourself and follow a different rhythm and a different beat and a different flow. If there are any singers in the house, let me know. Yeah, then you know. There's an energy you connect to and a vibe that you flow through that you have to be open to and aware of and conscious of and ride like a wave. And if you don't, well, that's when singing sounds awkward. But you guys, very specifically, the Supernatural family, have changed all of that. I love you guys so much. I don't say it enough. I really do love you guys a lot. I would not be singing if not for you guys. That was a side of myself that I was just like, walked away. Nobody had to know about it. I didn't sing for probably about 10 years. Like not even around the house, not even by myself, not in the shower, not alone to the radio. And in theater school, and I had great teachers, but they didn't quite know how to help me foster my gift. And so I would tell people, I was like, I can just belt really loud, that's it. And people are like, that's quite a gift though. It wasn't in the 90s. It wasn't in the 90s to be able to just belt out a tune. You wanted to have licks and riffs and tricks, and I couldn't do those things, so I thought I had a bad voice. But you guys were like, bitch, no, you can sing. And so for you, I sing with an open heart and so much love, and I truly do just want to just give that gift to you guys because it is what you guys have given me. Thank you for the question. Hi.
I'm Neva, and I really love your newsletter. It's always so uplifting when it comes. So, for everybody sign up for a newsletter. And my question is, I really tried meditating, but I always fall asleep really fast. And
You're one of the lucky ones.
yeah, I don't know if that still works because it's supposed to give me a little bit of energy, but I'm just like,
You're like, bitch, it knocks me out. Am I doing it right? Yes, you are. Actually, a lot of people find it really hard to get to that theta state where you're able to lose consciousness, so to speak. But that's when you're ready for like the next level, so to speak, because you're at a place where you're able to be relaxed enough. Because you know people can't fall asleep when they got issues, right?
Right.
That's when the mind is turning. So I just want to commend you for the work that you're doing because you don't get to fall asleep during a meditation or otherwise without finding some kind of inner peace. That actually is one of my definitions of how I know I'm successful in my life, is you're like, I can go to sleep so easily. I have a clear conscience, and I feel good about my life, and I'm putting good out into the world, and everything else can flow. It's a beautiful thing, because most people are churning with thoughts. How am I going to pay the bill? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? I'm going to do something.
Exactly.
I'm telling you. Quiet it down, quiet it down, quiet it down, quiet it down. Then that person, I'm the same person. And I already told her that I sent her the email on the Tuesday, but then on the Thursday, she couldn't see the fucking. Calm down. Calm down. Can anybody relate?
Yes.
But I want to show you, it's like kind of like being at the gym. It's like you have to put yourself in a position where you feel incredibly weak to get strong. You know, you're like, why do I feel so weak lifting this weight? You're like, bitch, because you're building muscle. So when you are finding yourself falling asleep, I would probably change your position. You know, if you're doing it lying down or if you're heavily supported, to more bring a little bit more consciousness into your body so that you're able to stay more present as you are in those relaxed states. And those relaxed states, like where you're able to go, are so incredibly powerful. That's when you want to really be channeling your energy and going through, let's say, like your chakras. And if you got access to our soulful studio, so go into day number 3 of the gratitude challenge and go through the chakra meditation, because it'll take you from your root all the way up to your crown. Be in a little bit more of a supported position so that you're not so easily able to fall asleep. And then really from that place, remind yourself of like, I feel safe, I do good things in my life, I love what I do. Like, go through all of the energies in your body, not just the I am affirmations. Am I talking? Do y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, sometimes you're like, did I just start speaking Chinese? But that would be my recommendation.
thank you.
Hi, my name is Deorica. First of all, I just want to say you're absolutely positively beautiful. But my question is, and maybe a little repetitive after the answer you just gave, but I follow you on Instagram. I love your Instagram. How do you remain so positive amidst all the muck and the mess?
How do I stop myself from going crazy? I'm like, as she was saying, and if you're not a part of the newsletter, I really do encourage you to subscribe. It's where I go deep on these things. But it's really from a commitment to the principles of gratitude that I have come to live by, amongst other things. Like a lot of people have the Bible, or what's his name, who has the law, the four agreements. They become things that you start to live by. And I'll tell you a story. So I'm in the process of making a show, and I'm having a meeting with my team. And everybody's just like, oh, the industry is changing so much. It's going left when it used to go right, it's going down when it used to go up. We don't know what the hell we're doing. And I just stop and I go, what a wonderful time to be entering this realm as a producer then. When we don't know what the landscape is and we can make it up. How perfect. The line was quiet.
Amen.
Like, people were like, what the fuck? We're panicking, Lisa. Get on our boat. And I only bring this up because my friend who was also on the call, who's my creative partner, she brought it up to a couple of her friends, and she was like, oh, but like Lisa was like, isn't this a great time to jump into? And everyone was like, how the fuck does she, how do you go there? And I'm like, oh, that's so funny. Because when you adhere to the principle of there's always a silver lining, that's just how you think. And so after years and years and years of devotion to these kind of principles, which I share in my newsletter, verifying. But these principles that I truly live by, I'm the first one to say, you don't love me. I mean, you love me. But you love me when I'm adhering to these principles, just like the people in our lives. You love me when I'm adhering to, there's always a silver lining, so I'm the optimist in the group. You love me when I'm adhering to noticing the good in the world and choosing to focus on what we have versus what we don't have. You're like, oh, I love that quality. But that's not me, that's a principle. And so because I'm a teacher and I'm a coach, I'm very conscious of not making myself the guru, but rather empowering you to be your own coach. So I'm like, girl, 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes we have the shoes. And you're like, fuck, I'm by myself. Who's gonna talk me off this ledge? Pull out one of the characters in your mind and make them a positive person. And that's the person who's gonna talk you off the ledge. They're gonna remind you of these principles that you've been practicing. And so just like when you go to the gym and you feel weak getting strong, every time you sit down and you do a meditation and you're able to calm yourself or catch a thought, you strengthen that muscle that's able to catch those thoughts. And I'm more specific about gratitude being the way in because I find it's very much like the soil, like the water that softens the soil. So you just pull out, you know, gratitude and being able to see things from that perspective lets you be like, huh, I don't know if I believe that anymore. And pull that thought out with greater ease rather than trying to force yourself to change. Because has thinking ever made anything better? Yeah. You know what I mean? You thought your way into the problem, you gotta feel your way out. It's a great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Show of hands, how many of y'all know that I'm actually like a coach? Okay, hi! Some people hear me speak and they're just like, how the fuck do you know this? I went to school for it. I've taken courses. Lots of them. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Lisa. I'm Sandy.
Hi.
I also follow you on Instagram. I have a question because you speak deaf so well. So obviously you weren't, when you were auditioning, you were auditioning to play a Reaper. So you played deaf so well. So I want to know what preparation you made and how did you do it? Was it just a mindset of just going from Reaper to deaf? Because you did that.
I like you. Well, that's a really great question. You know why it's a really great question? I always knew I was deaf. Say what? Like I said, I watched the show. Which I think if you don't watch the show, it's very easy to come in a character like Billy and just be like, oh yeah, you know, the old death says this and this is how it's gonna be now. But I like mulled over that line. I was like, old death. We gotta make choices, it's me. So that's how I always did it. And I really I went back to all of Julian's episodes and I watched it from a perspective of being there. Like I was always there, just you couldn't see me, you know what I mean? And so on the sidelines, I was like eating grapes, being like, don't make the deal. You really don't want to do that. Why don't you ever listen to me? And so I didn't know where this journey was going to go, but I always had that in mind when I played the character. So when it came about, which is its own story, it's kind of fun. We should move on. But it was a fun way to explore coming back as a character that you didn't know you were going to come back as many times as I came back. And I always believed you kind of have to be like, well, what's new? You know, when you get another scene with a character and you're like, well, how are they different? What are you learning about them now in this scene? So I always took her as someone who was constantly getting downloads. So when a death is killed, the Reaper steps up and you just get downloads. And as I would get a new scene, I'd be like, I got a new download. And I know more now. I'll play knowing more now. And then when I actually became Death, I was like, oh, this is so fun. This is so fun. Ask him how I found out about Death. Great question. One question at a time. Hi.
Hi, my name is Jasmine. It's so nice to meet you. I loved you as Billy. It was just so awesome to see you on Supernatural, and your entrance was like chilling. I was like, oh, just left your mind. And I always forget when I rewatch, and then I come to your scene. Oh, good. Billy's in this season. I'm so excited. But I also love your guidance meditations on Insight Timer. Like, it's just, I fall asleep to them so many times. It just helps me around me like, okay, just move on and go to sleep. So I was wondering what inspired you to start meditation and start being a life coach?
I was crazy. Right? You teach what you needed to learn. I was very anxious, and I would say I wish that someone had told me at the beginning of my spiritual journey that it was never going to be about how positive I made my life, but rather how still I would be able to become. You feel me? Because from that place of stillness, you have so much more power, so much more confidence, so much more energy to actually give than if you're all over the place and trying to people please. You know, make sure it's perfect. But from this place, I truly do believe we're able to give our best self. And so what really inspired me was the fact that I would see a lot of inspirational messages, quotes, and I'm like, oh, that was so good, I love it. But like, how the fuck do you live it? I want to let it go, but she irritates me, and I work with her. And now I see her tomorrow. What do you mean, let it go? It's attached to me at the hip. And then someone introduced me to meditation in a very different way. So my meditations aren't quite like most people's meditations. Sometimes I'm a little talky, but I'm more of a guide out of your head back into your body. And even when I coach, I'm the first person to be like, I really do love and appreciate your story. I don't want to hear it. And you're like, I'm like, no doubt. And we'll get into it in myriads of ways. But what I actually want to know is, how does your story make you feel? Where do you feel it in your body? Because that's actually what we need to address. And so whenever you're caught in a moment of overwhelm, anxiety, I'm always the first one to say, do a body scan. In fact, you should just be in the habit of regularly checking in with your body at any given time. And wherever you feel the most amount of tension, that's where you need to breathe. That's where you need to find your grace. And so learning all of that and finding the warp speed mix that it let me actually find peace, where I was like, I let it go. And you're like, how are you doing it? I was like, oh my God, great question. Very specifically, I'm relaxing my shoulders, I'm unclenching my butt cheeks. Yes, they were clenched. I'm relaxing my toes. I'm relaxing between my eyebrows. And I'm creating space between my ears right now. It's like really chill. That's how I am. And so I'm a believer that you should be able to tell somebody what you're doing. You should be able to give somebody a command to physically feel what it is that you want them to experience, not just tell them to let it go. That's how it started, is I was really irritated with spiritual practitioners. Meditate on it and let it go. They just tell me what to do with my hands. Okay. So that's how it all started.
Thank you so much.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. I heard you say earlier about creating a character within yourself that would give you strength or to give you, whatever it was, whatever you're searching out. Then you brought up your character, your internal character of Louise. I want to know the path that Louise is taking you on now. Where is she taking you musically now?
Damn. I'm tripping on myself. That's such an amazing question. Okay, you're good. Okay, are you ready for the crazy? Are you ready for the crazy? Are you ready for the crazy? You're ready for the crazy. So, she has vocal teachers, which I didn't know about. But she will tap into something that I will learn as an actor through voice work, and she'll go, oh, but this is how you use it for singing. And then she'll make me rehearse, because she wants to play with it. So we were singing, I Don't Want to Fight No More. Tina really is my girl. We were singing I Don't Want to Fight No More, and I was like, I just can't get that hanging on to the past part. And she's like, I want you to bend over, and I want you to sing out of your butt. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, bring all the energy so you're more like, hanging on, so you're really like supported, and you're really, to see how that's in a nice, like this is how we talk. It fully feels like there's another character. She's like, I want you to try it again. And this time I don't want you to strain so much, so I want you to loosen up right here. Like she somehow knows things that I don't. And so we'll sing and she'll be like, like she just plays with the voice in a way that I would never. And she's like, let me try it again. Keep singing out your butt. This is a good place. I want that to be the pin for your high notes. So your high notes are in your butt. Yes, they are. Right? And so she'll work me through. I feel like you're nervous to go there. Bend over. Okay? Yeah. It's fine. There's nobody here. It's just us. And then I'll get the place and I'll be like, oh my God, let's do it. Hanging on to the past. And she'll be like, there it is, girl. There it is. You can hit those notes. Let's dance in our way. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. But that's actually what like a singing lesson with Louise is like. She makes me do weird things. But now you know. Now you know.
Hello, my name is Larry, and I have a question for you as to when you became deaf, why didn't you get a ride? Because Julian had a cool car, the boys got a cool car,
Well, first, if Billy had a ride, I think it'd be a horse. I do. I think she'd be like, I just think it'd be cool and in slow motion there's wind. I see mist. You know. I wish I had one. I got a new ring. I got a ring. I got a ring. That's a Phil Screechy question. That's a Phil question. I'd like to know the answer to that one too. Now that you brought it up. Be casually out one day and like, why didn't Billy get a car? Inquiring minds want to know. Hi, I'm inquiring mind. Good question. Good question. To be continued question. Hi.
I'm Kim from Nova Scotia,
and I'm here with my original bestie from Newfoundland.
Oh,
And I know
okay.
you're Canadian, so hi. I met you in Columbus, and I just want to say thank you first, because you just exude warmth and genuineness, and you actually made me feel so good about myself. You gave me a hug, you made me feel good on my own journey, and I'm at the point where I am just in a happy, grateful place as well. I remember you. So my question, actually, this can be overwhelming, and I think this convention in particular, the idea, this was a big, big one, and I think everyone's been overwhelmed at the thought of coming to this convention. So what advice would you give to anyone here to be in the moment and to enjoy every bit of it and not get that down afterwards? And when Jensen comes on stage, actually listen to him. What would you say just to be in the moment? How do we do that and not be through our phones the whole time?
First off, everybody listen to her. Okay? And I actually feel like this is a question for y'all, actually, because I have a different experience, obviously, as I'm on the stage right now. So I'm going to pose a question to you guys. People, whose first time is it? Ooh. Oh. Who is a veteran of the Supernatural Convention Land? You have friends. I want you to seek out somebody who's been here a minute. But anybody who's been here a minute, what advice would you give them? Hydrate.
Eat. Shower.
Don't forget to take a shower. Hey, girl. Take a shower. Take breaks. Hand sanitizer. Y'all should write a booklet. Okay? Okay?
Everyone is here to help you.
You are not alone.
Be patient, be kind. Everyone is here to help you.
And once you have the best damn time! Yes! That's a good one. That's a good question. If you still have, what was it? Thank you. Noted. I'm going to see Jensen and it's going to get awkward. They told me to do it. They told me to do it. I love it. I blame the crew. I do.
Thank you.
Great question. Good to see you. Hi.
My name is Annika, and I asked Sam Smith the same question, but I was just curious. Since you guys do all of these, that you see and meet so many people that are very, very common to you, and some people are weird, what's your favorite compliment you get so often?
I like you on the show. I'm not even kidding. The fact that you are like, I want to meet you! Me? Me? I'm just a little old girl from Richmond Hill, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I just played a little old part. The show was on. Very long time. Very, very long time. Remember, I thought it was going to get canceled in season 7. I had doubts. I had a crisis of faith. But I know better now. I know better now. Yeah, I think the greatest compliment I can ever get is when someone feels like they've been seen. You know, like, wow, seeing you there made me realize that I, you know, as an actor, don't have to be a size 2. Or I don't have to be that black girl with straight hair. You know what I mean? But truly, like, anytime anybody gives me a compliment, I'm always just like, that is so kind of you to say. I'm genuinely, I'm really hard on myself. That's the work that I have. That's my cross to bear, is I just never think I have anything special.
Well, we all love you.
I love you so much. So every compliment is like, thank you. What did Sam Smith say?
Basically, same.
Pretty much the same thing. Pay money to see my face. is great.
We're all still in shock. I'm still in shock that there's a poster bigger than my wall with my face on it. And someone's like, that one's mine. Blows my mind, because I do that with people too. So the fact that anyone's doing that with me is always just like, what? What? Love you. Hey. You know what? Empowering other people is why I really became a coach. I think what I was seeing in this space, anyways, I didn't see a lot of Black women in the coaching space, and I feel like as Black women, we're like, hello, we're crazy, because so much gets thrown at us all the time that I can't believe there aren't more of us actually doing this kind of work. When I know that there are, secretly, quietly, you know, oh yeah, my mom's auntie, she's got the medicines, you know, or listening to my grandma, she's got these beautiful meditations and these crystals, or, you know, it's so secretive in our community, it feels like. And so I really wanted to be able to give this to as many people as possible. Like, I think we all deserve inner motherfucking peace. And I love to teach, I love talking about this stuff. I'm a total geek. Yes, I had the ick factor of just like, you don't get out there and tell people about stuff. And I was like, I am, but I'm not talking about myself. I'm really just talking about these principles that I keep talking about. Is I'm just like, I believe in them so much. Like people who believe in the Bible and stuff. I believe in these principles. I really, really do. I believe in gratitude with my whole entire heart. I'm like, it's my full-time job to be grateful. I'm that person. I'm that friend, just so you know. Really annoying when you want to just have like a vent. And you're just like, bitch, I just want to complain. And I was just like, how lucky to be able to have the space to express yourself. It can be annoying. It can be. But I do. They know it. They know it. At this point, my friends just call me up because they're just like, I forgot who I am. I was like, you a badass bitch with a lot of shit going on and ain't nobody gonna fuck with you, bitch. You know it. Do I need to remind you of your Emmys? Do I need to remind you of your accolades? Do I need to remind you of the badass human being that you are and that you're a mother and you created life? Hello. Yeah, that's who I am. To my friends. But I want everybody to be able to feel that confident and that empowered in their life. So that's why I share it. I'm the sweetest face, y'all. Thank you. Hi.
Hi. I'm just wondering which castmate do you think has the most opposite personality of yours? Doesn't have to be a bad thing.
No, who do you think? Girl, that's the question we're trying to get an answer to.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you guys doing?
How this Friday Austin crowd
I
treat
love you guys so much!
I told them to be prepared for a warmth to enter them that they may not be expecting. I feel like you delivered it. That's awesome.
I hope so. I love you guys.
Please give it up for the one and only Lisa Barrett!